Hello everyone, good afternoon. I guess we have two kinds of, like a different audience today, so we have both startups and founders. So two key messages today, one for the startups and the founders: drop everything you're doing right now, start a new company and build a practical solution in the crypto space. That's what you have to do. And for the investors, get up zero, send us your dirty fiat and we'll invest it in a more practical way. So, I'm here to talk about Lunex Ventures. Lunex Ventures is a dedicated crypto and blockchain investment firm coming out of Golden Gate Ventures. So Golden Gate Ventures is a traditional VC here in Southeast Asia. I'll touch on that. So this is my background. Been in Asia for 15 years. Did my MBA in Hong Kong, after which I came to Singapore. I worked for some of the rocket companies here, so Zalora, Lazada when they just started, just for a bit, but if anybody worked there, you probably know that you'll age 3 times faster if you work there. So that was an interesting journey. Then I joined a gaming startup here, which was called Nonstop Games, and we got acquired by King in 2014 or 15. Joined a travel startup here, which was Travel Mob, which got acquired by HomeAway, which got acquired by Expedia. And then I joined Golden Gate Ventures as head of growth, and I basically was an in-house consultant helping our portfolio companies scale and grow. So, as it's me, I'm also an angel investor in a couple of companies, mainly in the gaming space. And been very fortunate there that my companies did pretty well. So this is Golden Gate Ventures. They've been around since 2011. I guess we're competitors to Vertex, so it's interesting to be here today. We have about 50 portfolio investments. We just closed a third fund, which is a $100 million fund, and we are investing in Southeast Asia, early stage tech. So here are some of our more notable investments. So Redmart was one of them, Odyssey, Carousel. So that's on traditional fund. But the role, or at least in my opinion, the role of venture capital it's high risk capital with a long-term focus. So what we should do is invest in long-term disruptive industries and disruptive ideas. And we think, or my thesis is that blockchain itself is fundamentally disruptive and a foundational technology, basically. So it's a similar technology like the internet, like smartphones. We're just in the very, very early days of this transformation. And now is actually a really good time to start investing in it, especially now the market's come down and people start paying attention to it. So this is just an example, right? So we don't realize how much the world has changed in just 20 years. 20 years ago, you had libraries, you had phones, you had Blockbuster, Sears, and music companies, and they're all out of business this day, or they're transformed beyond recognition. And this is within our lifetime, right? So I still remember all of these companies. So I think something similar is going to happen now. In 20 years' time, we'll look back and like, HSBC, what's HSBC? Oh, those guys, no, sorry, no, I do my business with Gemini, or I do my business with Coinbase, right? So these companies will be replaced once we have open, borderless, censorship-resistant networks on which people can build really interesting applications. So that's coming. It might still take some time, but that's why we're in VC, where we can take longer-term bets. So what are we interested in? We are interested in practical applications, so not necessarily people building, I've actually seen a toothbrush on the blockchain or Netflix on the blockchain. That's all way too far out there. What we're interested in are in practical applications, so exchanges, KYC, AML providers, custody solutions, either tokens or equity, so we can hold both. And we have a medium 5-year investment horizon, and we mainly focus on seed stage or tokens, as said. So what we look for in the companies we invest in: team, history of the team, product and market fit, and potential for follow-on exit. So team is by far the most important, and what we offer: patient capital, which is not always easy to find. We offer support across growth, hiring, marketing, and obviously industry connections, because we're dedicated towards crypto and blockchain. And we're the only traditional VC in Southeast Asia with such a dedicated fund. So this is an example of our first equity investment. Hasn't been announced, but will be done so soon. Spoban Capital, coming out of Entrepreneur First. It's a crypto custody solution, and they're based here in Singapore. good example of what we look for in teams. Very experienced developer, very experienced Tukina in terms of finance and management consulting. So, and if you ever look at the markets like today and you feel down, just know that millennials are coming. They are already adopting this asset class on a big scale, and so are institutions with the launch of Pact, for example, on the 12th of December. Thank you.
Okay, so you're the first one trying to professionally invest in the blockchain space in a more structured way, especially also as a spin-off from a VC fund. Everybody in this room has been in touch with ICOs somehow, sometimes asked for, most of the time not asked for. How do you distinguish all the crap from what you actually want to invest in?
Yeah, that's a good question, and that's why we focus on like practical applications of this technology. So like a custody solution, we need that right now. We will be their first customer, so they'll have immediate revenues. So a little bit like the dot-com boom in 2001, right? There was lots of companies going public, lots of companies that didn't make any revenue, and they were still getting going towards IPO. So the ICO craze was something similar, just earlier stage. But we've seen a lot of these people leave the industry now with the market coming down, so we focus on the practical kind of applications that people need here, right here, right now.
So, like what you mentioned, in the space that you're currently in, there's ups and downs. What is one thing that you feel everyone in the market, including investors, the founders, they all missed, and you didn't miss, or your company didn't miss, and that would give you an advantage among everyone else? What's the one thing in the market right now that everyone, in your opinion, missed out and you didn't?
One thing is a bit difficult to pinpoint perhaps, but I guess it's a very early space, so like it's like the internet in the early 90s or so. But being early helps a lot because it's really easy now to still make those connections globally with kind of the key industry players. And that's something that will be much harder kind of later down the line. Plus, it does require at this point in time a little bit of technical knowledge on how these underlying platforms work. So by having a head start, I feel like a couple of years head start, we're ahead of that game. Anybody coming in now will have to catch up. So that's kind of the best way to understand. How many of you guys do own Bitcoin? Ooh. That's a lot.